this video, we're going to review using AutoHotkey with SPSS Syntax and also calling up macros. So first, what I'm going to do is show you, get back to here, let's say that I wanted to open a certain data file that I use a lot. So I can say get IDC. My AutoHotkey pulls up the path, which I've pre-programmed, pulls up the path here so I can run that and it opens the data file. And now let's say I wanted to do descriptives on these variables. I can come here, copy. Now, normally I might come in here, type UC. If I hit paste, it put all of them. But what if instead of having all of them, I wanted to have this word 2 and then that? I could run that, and that'll run descriptives in all of them. So let's say that I didn't want to go through that step. I could come back in here and notice, watch, if I hit paste, it puts all of them, but I've written an AutoHotkey script to grab the first one, put the word 2, and then the last one. So I can put enter here, run it, and now it has this, but there's a lot of things I don't like about this. First off is the means are over here, they're not sorted in ascending or descending, and I want the means right next to my labels, and also there's no title up here. So let's see if we can write some syntax to call up some scripts to fix that. So first let's change this to say stats mean. So if I run that, now, okay, I got it down to having all those. I can have just the mean, the n, and that, but I still want the mean next to it instead of the n here. Because when you go to graph it, it's tougher to graph it like in Excel. So I have a script which I can say swap, and this one is actually pre-built to grab the last table and swaps the means. So when I run that, you'll see now the mean is in the first column instead of the second column. The other thing is, unfortunately, let me move the other here. Let's say your other was further up the list. Well, when I go to graph it, I actually want the other at the end. What I can do is I can say, okay, move row other, and I'm going to move anything that starts with other. I've predefined this in the macro also. So if I run that, it bumps other all the way to the top. What if I wanted, for some reason, media relations to move instead? If I run that, see, it bumps media relations all the way up there. Alright, so now we're close, but now what if we wanted to actually, this descriptive title doesn't do much for me. So I can say change title. This is another script. Job roles. That goes back and selects the last table and adds job to get rid of descriptive statistics and puts that in there. So now you can see I can actually put this over into Excel and graph this fairly quickly. And you can see how much quicker it is having these defined in AutoHotkey already that I can just pull them up. However, I could do the same thing. Let's grab this. Using my describer macro. Now the beauty about macros, so if I put this in here, this is going to run my describer macro, and it's going to say order is ascending. I'm going to put the job roles for Joe here, and put my variables here. Now when I run this, you'll see it go through and it does all the things that we just did. It only ran it with the mean, swapped out, and actually even instead of having n, it has count here, moved other to the end, and put in the title. And that is because this is my describer macro, which I've predefined it and said, okay, this is the name describer, and here are some of the things we're going to use in it. This is for all the variables, and what it allows me to do is to say, okay, run describer on those variables, sort it, and this is the order. So in here I can put order A or D, and that'll sort it ascending or descending. My title, so then after that, and then show the stats, just show the mean. Well, the first thing I do after it runs that is then it runs my swap means, changes n to count. I forgot to show you that one. It moves the row other, and also if there wasn't none of the above, it would move those to the end, changes the title, calls up the script to change the title of the table, and then actually it also fixes the line wraps in case they were breaking and looking bad. And so basically everything between here and here is inside my macro, so it runs every time I call it. So I can close this. Now, if I actually want to just change it and say, oh, let's make that descending, when I run my macro, it just changes the order from ascending to descending. And let's see, if I wanted to go through and make my next table, so I can come back in here, let's say do these, go back to my syntax file. So now I can just type this, which pulls up my macro call, put that there, value added, and that gives me the mean across those variables, just swapping the means out, but you can see how very quickly I can go through and create the data to export to graph into Excel.